Labor Day. And I'm out here on the outskirts of Puyallup. Puyallup is pushing out further, but development is still happening in this area. So, and something that just really caught my eye was all the new apartment complexes going in. And the other thing that caught my eye was the number of apartment complexes started 12 to 18 months ago that should have been completed this spring. But for whatever reason, construction came to a halt. And I understand stopping construction when you're in like the beginning phases, but when you've got them all the way down where you've done land development, you've built the buildings, you've put in roofs and windows and stuff, and now you are down to, okay, cars are actually pulling in here. It's been blocked off. Is it still blocked off? This truck in front of me pulled, so I'm gonna pull in here. But when you're down to the end, when you just got the finish workers that need to finish these places off, yeah, those pieces of equipment right there have not moved since April. They're in the exact same position with the gravel pile. And this was a large apartment complex that they put the windows and doors in April, which normally means you're only about 30 to 60 days away from having, the floors put in, the bathrooms and fixtures, and having the places rented, collecting $2,000 a month. You've already got a sunk cost of 80-90%. So why would you not finish them out to be able to start collecting the $2,000 plus rent per month? Oh, okay. These guys are just doing U-turns. Interesting. All right. Well, okay. And this even gets better here. So that was that building. And there's all these buildings here that are 3-story apartments. They stopped working on them. Like, did they get notification to not saturate the market? Oh, this is literally like the 10th apartment complex out here in South Pierce County that they've just halted, and Nashville is fenced off. They're not working on this place. They got the call, don't finish them. We don't need the inventory. Kind of interesting. There's string lights there, but there's no cars. Oh my God, they haven't even put electrical in. That's interesting on that one. They've got a clubhouse that has not moved in 4 months, that heavy equipment. So there's literally like this project right here and that other building is about 200 units. And I've literally seen at least 10 of these, if not 12 or 15 of these 200 unit developments that should be bringing 2,000 apartments online, right? And, they're even boarding up the windows. I think people must have busted them and stuff. What is the vacancies has crept up now to like 4 or 5%. And there's probably Pierce County's 750,000. So there's like 300,000 households. Like 20% of those are apartments, 60,000. So this is an interesting math formula. If there's 60,000 apartments in Pierce County, and now for a while there was less than 1,000 available at any one time, right? So it feels really stressful when you're trying to get a place, and you've got 1,000, 2,000 people competing. So it always seems like there's 2-3 people competing for every unit, and they can charge whatever they want. You don't get it, and if you don't pay extra and pay $200-300 down to have your credit checked. So if all of a sudden the vacancy goes up to 5%, you now have 3,000 units empty in Pierce County, right? And you've got 2,000 that are within a month of rolling over and being available. So you've got like 5% inventory, but if you finish off 5% vacancy in inventory, so now you have a lot more apartments per person looking for one. And if you have another 2,000 that are just waiting in the wings to come online, if they just rammed these through and finished them, then there would be there'd be 5,000 units, right? And so now you're talking almost 10% of the available apartment inventory is now vacant. So you've now put the landlords, which is big corporate, which is owned by big hedge funds, which is, controlled and whatever, manipulated by, the political system. You've now got an issue, because I know as soon as you get to like 8-10% vacancy on rental units, I've owned rental units enough years in my life, and so is my family, so decades, that once you start crossing that 6, 7, 8, 9, 10% vacancy, well, now you're having to really try to entice people to come rent your place. And what I mean by entice is 1 month free, 1 month free, first month half. So in reality, you're discounting the rent 15-20% without saying you're discounting the rent. So I have a theory why they stopped working on these. So it looks like that one's the gray one's a separate one over there from these yellow ones, but there's been no activity. They were pounding these out through the fall and winter, and got to April and called it quits. So, yeah, that's where we're at. I'll take you guys for a ride. Yeah. So hang with me. We'll also see what they're doing housing wise, which is a little harder to see, but if you drive it every week or so or live in the area, you can understand it. I'll try to explain it. But what's happened out here is the big area that they're developing for houses. The builders are not stupid. They were building insanely last summer, spring and summer, and they still have lots of land, and they've already developed lots of lots out here. And it is obvious that the construction in the single family new construction homes has dropped off dramatically as well. And I'll show that to you. I was out here the other day, and I was surprised how few were under construction. Now, of course, they sold out hundreds and hundreds, if not 1,000 or so, of new construction houses with those, 2.5%, 3%, 3.5%, 4% interest rates. They're still offering buy downs. The builder is still, basically taking it in the short to $20,000 probably on a deal to buy your rate down to 5%. But what I kind of think is they've discovered, so I think the builders have a huge advantage, okay? So let's just use simple numbers. Let's say the builder's building $500,000 houses. I'm not saying that's what these are, and the going rate is 7%, which means the going payment for a 3 to 5% down payment person is $4,000. Well, it's real easy for a builder because they get so much data from their website and from their sites. They can know. I think a builder in no time can determine what is the monthly payment that people can afford. And, they can use an algorithm or some type of mathematical formula. And it's obvious that they discovered, I would say a year and a half ago. Oh, that's a cool little trailer. I don't know what it's used for, but that they determined that $3,000, as soon as you start getting over 3,000, $3,200, $3,500, $4,000, whatever, your buyer pool starts shrinking dramatically. You start needing household incomes of $120,000 to $200,000. So if you're already 50, 60, 70% through on your builds, you've got sunken costs. You need to finish those out and sell them. What is the easiest way to exit those homes? And we're going to get to some new homes here, so hang with me. We're here on South Hill, Puyallup. The easiest way to make sure you move inventory is what the spread is of income and payment that people can afford. So you quickly, it's just a mathematical formula. You can go, hey, as soon as we cross $3,300 a month, only 10% of the buyers out there can afford our houses. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, if we can keep the payments at $3,000 a month, how many can afford it? 50%. Oh, wow. Okay, so we just got to get the payment down $300. So the question becomes, do you cut the price $50,000 as a builder to lower someone's mortgage payment from $3,300 to $3,000? Or do you take $15,000 to $20,000 of your profit and offer it as a buy down on the interest rate to get the payment to $3,000? So you're buying down a payment, most likely fixed, possibly a stair-step one, but most likely fixed for 30 years, just to get the person in. So what you're doing in essence is the house prices really should be 50 grand less, but because you're the builder and you have profit and can control what you have going on, you can instead take a $20,000 hit and just buy down the rate to 5 versus all the resales that can't do that. So we got a Mount Rainier here looking pretty. Got some clouds in the blue sky, but it's mostly blue sky. So that's my theory on that is the builders are very aware. And as they keep doing that, they can see where demand goes up, down, flat. And I can tell you that demand's been going down, even as they've been buying the rate down. So if you're buying the rate down on current inventory to move the inventory, what's your next move? Your next move is to slow down building because, do you want to keep just bleeding 20,000? It might, if rates keep going up, 7.5, 8, you might have to pay $30,000 of your profit. These are crazy here. These are side-by-side townhomes that they sold for 400 grand. I appreciate that they're real pretty and new, but I really don't want to have to navigate 3 floors. So the base floor is just your garage and some little patio deck. And then you've got the second floor, which is your kitchen and dining room stuff, and then the third floor. So, all day long, you'd be in good shape and lose weight, I guess. But all day long, you're navigating 3 floors for your unit. So that's what those were. These are some fancy apartments that they built a few years ago. These are filled up. Actually, some of these are starting to have vacancies. I'm seeing the signs for it. But and here's some of those same buildings, but they only did those in a 2-story version. And that's not as bad to have your garage and your downstairs. See, these are 3-story. So you're sleeping upstairs. So to go from your, car up to your bedrooms, you got to go up to the 3rd floor. So we're out here. This all used to be forest. They're deforesting it. They knew it was coming 15 years ago. They put a high school out here in the middle of nowhere that made no sense. Nobody lived out here, so they forced a percentage of the kids to go from other high schools to it to support it. And then the houses came a few years later. So these are new ones in here. So originally, the ones were built down here by the high school like 15 years ago. And then the housing bubble pop for us really, really slowed down new construction. I would say it dropped off 80-90%. So in areas where they were building 1,000 homes, new homes a year, dropped to 100. Now all these sold in here in 2020 and 2021. So these people got nice houses, nice prices. When the interest rates ran up last summer, the one builder out here, I don't know who they are, but they stopped construction. They have since re-upped construction because they only had about 1/3 of the lots built, and you'll see. So for some reason, they feel, or maybe the bank forced them, hey, you've got to build and sell. Pull in right here, it's called the Pines. So by Century Communities from the 600s. So you can see these were all just empty lots, and the lots sat for over a year. When you first came in, even those weren't built. So none of these were built. So for these were the model homes built like 2 years ago in the 500s. And then none of these were built. These are all being built. Wow. Down here at the very end. So down here in the other street is what got built. Still a lot of empty lots in this development, but they have reamped up the building. I mean, when you've got an awesome view of Rainier, like, you see that? When these were built, 500,000, 3% mortgage, you're talking about a $2,000, $2,500 payment. Pretty damn cool on a nice big new house. So I don't know what I want to show. This street here was completed a couple years ago. I think down here, these are new construction. I mean, it's all new construction, but these are new and for sale or sold. So they decided to build this out a little further down here. Nice design. I like the aesthetics. That house doesn't have a very good paint job. Big houses, 3-car garage. These are gonna be like 700,000, and unless this company's buying the interest rates down too. I mean, you're talking about a $5,000 house payment. 5 G's a month for a house. Yeah, they've really in the last few months. So these all sold a couple years ago. This was the part of the street that I drove down, and 2 years ago, people were moving into these new ones. BMWs, Audis, Lincoln Continentals, Jeep, Nissan, Tundra, Jeep, Subaru, Mazda, Lincoln. This used to seem so far out. Back when I lived in Puyallup, it was like, really? People are going to move way out here? This is like 180. This is like 10 miles out from downtown Puyallup, up in the woods. Obviously, the woods are gone. But look at all these. They've really gone to town thinking they're going to sell these. I think it's interesting that they went so hard here, versus building 2 or 3. But who knows? And then I'll take you down where the building that they shut down. So a year and a half ago, there was signs all along here. New houses coming. Sorry, I thought I saw something on the corner of my eye. Signs down through here, new houses coming, da-da-da-da-da. I'll get down here, I'll show you. I don't even have the same access I had a year and a half ago. Killer Mount Rainier views. It's only a few miles away. That's why it looks gigantic. Thanks for hanging with me. Oh, I got a few people in. Comment if you want. So down here, I went up this way. I noticed they blocked it off. There's hundreds and hundreds of lots, if not 1,000 lots that are developed and ready. I mean, they've got electrical and plumbing all up here in this plateau, but now that's closed off. So, and KB Builders, KB Homes is the only one building, so that's closed off. The other 2 over here are closed off. So these guys are building a few homes in here to show what the development will look like. So I won't drive you around to all of that. They have it closed off with barriers, so they're not building there anytime soon, and they don't want people there. So they put the little sales office here with the model homes, and they built a few homes. They don't say available. Let's see, home site. I guess if they have a home site sign, they're probably available. These don't have quite the same high-end finishing touches. that's a wall, huh? Hope that wall holds. So anyway, that's what these guys got going on. Got lots and lots. So like I'm saying, a year and a half ago, they planned on, I won't bug this Tesla guy, he's gonna think, what do we see a picture of? I mean, they had this open a year and a half ago, so obviously they planned on selling a lot of homes a year and a half ago. You wouldn't have this all done and ready and be promoting it and then only have 1, 2, 3, what do they have? That they have 3 model homes and like 5 or 6 homes for sale. So we'll see where this goes. But there's definitely been a slowdown on, I mean, there's definitely plenty of developed lots for houses. There's the house that has a view up there. And I'll show you one setup because they're all about 5-10 miles away, so I don't want to drive you to each one, but they all look the same. Actually, I'll drive you out past Emerald Ridge High School just for something different to see. There is waiting in the winds, lots of lots to build lots of houses. And there's a lot of apartments that are 80-90% done that wouldn't take a lot to get completed and bring on as inventory. So I don't know if someone doesn't want inventory and someone doesn't want rents to go down. I mean, they can't say it's workers because I have a few construction workers that have been asking me if there's work, looking for work. These were built a few years ago. Big houses. The Woodlands. Everybody's got new fancy cars. So this was Emerald Ridge High School. It's just out here in the middle of the forest. Their football field the first couple of years was just in the middle of trees. It was crazy. Their track field too, and their cross country and stuff would come out here for stuff. And the football field still is greatly surrounded by by trees. But you're out here a ways if you have to commute somewhere for work. It's a heck of a commute, but if you live out here and work from home, it's beautiful. All right, guys, thanks so much for coming in. And I'm going to go enjoy today's in the 80s, which is really nice for this time of year. I'm going to go try to enjoy it. Take care. Do fun stuff.